Hello there everyone, this is Neko here, getting ready to play Frozen Flame, and today we're going to be trying to get the bosses done for this episode, and then after that we'll see where the hell we'll go from there. So I'm going to make some armor, and you might be wondering how the hell I got this. It's when you can discover fabric, you can discover armor. And if you're wondering how to do that, in the first episode, I show you where it's located, but it doesn't drop. And if you're wondering what I mean by that, I'll just quickly show you. Because, oops, because not everybody sees every episode. But what you do is you look for enemy encampments like this here, and you kill the guys that are in here. They're pretty easy to deal with if you do it right. They do have crit spots. Some of them it's the face, and some of them it's not. They actually do have some advanced AI. As you can see, I hit the body there, and it took less damage. But if I hit his head, if he stops throwing for a second here, oh, I didn't hit the head. But there's stamina and stuff. But as you saw, there, see, 21. And if you kill them outside a certain area, you sometimes have this, which personally, if you do it right, is an amazing resource grind. And as you can see here, fabric. Took a little bit to get to it, but still. These guys drop a helmet sometimes, and they also drop magic seeds. They don't always do it, but they sometimes do. Oh, there's a guy. There's an idiot here. Let's clear this out. But as you can see here, they sometimes drop coins. They drop fabric, so you can simply just harvest this. And as you saw, if you sit out here and you kill them, walk in, walk out, repeat, you can basically farm them as much as you want. But you gotta be careful because you do have durability to take care of. As you saw, that's a magic seed. You do have to take care of your durability. You do have to be careful that they can still kill you and damage you. But that's how you can farm up fabric. And these guys seem to give seeds a little bit more often than I expect. Now, magic seeds are going to be important as you progress. And when you're looking for encampments like this, sometimes you'll come across the pink flower on the borders of this place, of their little encampments. Not every single one has one, but if you look for it, you will come across them. Actually, you know what? Let's go show you what that looks like. We're gonna go do a bit more fighting. I know I said I'd get the bosses, but I kind of want to show you guys the flowers. There are guys out here you can harvest, and they do drop helmets. They do make you weak to curses, but they do have a decent defense. They're somewhat alright for beginning. You do have to worry about the colds. As you can see here, I'm slowly getting colds. And what is it? I think up over this mountain or teleport, there's another little guard spot. Jump over this, over here. Yes, right down over there. There's a guard spot over here. So let's deal with these guys. And he's dead. You can also zoom in if you need to, but if you're not careful, you could end up getting sway, and if you run out of stamina, you end up shooting. If they get up on top of you, your best bet is to dash. And when you hear that sound, it means you successfully killed. And as you can see, more fabric. But see these here? These are what you get magic seeds from. And not all of them, all these encampments have them. But if you look for them, you have an okay odd for getting them. And as you can see here, drop the mask, which this one gives 3 defense, curse resistance, which actually I need to equip that because that one's actually better. Right now, you don't have any means to destroy these, so having more than one's kind of pointless. So I'll just leave that right there. Ooh, do you have fabric? Yes, you do. Thank you. Oops. This gives me 2 defense, this gives me 3, so we're going to put this on. And now we have a strange mask on our head. Alright, now we're going to go back to the beginning, we're going to get some armor, and we're going to go and play with some of the bosses. Oh, and I'm going to need a garden bed, and I'll show you why once we get to one of the bosses. So let's head on over back to my little place, which you can pack up and you can place in your area. That was not much of a dive. That was actually kind of an impressive shallow dive. These guys are hostile at night, which is, they're pretty easy to kill. You just pop them with like 2 bow shots to the head, maybe 3 if you're unlucky. Oh, I'm gonna have to pop him. Usually you want to charge this up to yellow, because that gives you max chance, or increases your chance of hitting. And since you normally start with pants, you don't have to worry about making pants. You can just make the gloves, the top, the boots. And then from there you can repair the items. Like this takes 1 fabric, this takes branches. As long as you don't let it break, it usually, from what I can tell, only takes 2 to repair once they reach a certain durability. Now that we have that, we have the pants, we have the gloves, we have the chest, legs, this, we've got the seeds, we don't really need that. And as you can see, because this is not under a roof, it's slowly decaying. However, I can use it still. And I can also pack it up just by holding T. Alright, now let's go to one of the bosses. There's one that's going to require you to use the garden bed. When I first played through, I didn't realize how to do it or anything like that. I was confused as hell, and it was absolutely annoying. And I will tell you, there is fall damage, but it is slightly forgiving, so you don't have... Ooh, is there any encampment here? I do not think so. You can also basically, if you do it right, you can basically kill these guys with ease. You just sidestep, shoot, and see, simple as that. Alright. Oh, this boss. This was my first boss by accident, and I will tell you, it was an absolute pain. Sometimes it's best to go for body shots because you don't always get the headshots because they move like that. Ah, dang it. There we go. He's dead. Any fabric? No. This guy, you're going to want to have potions just in case, because the first time I fought him, it was just absolute pain. But I ended up learning a method to do it. So this guy, you're going to need to grab these mushrooms. You're going to need 5 of them if I remember correctly. So 1, 2, 3. We should have 4 right here. And I think there should be a 5th one. Yes, right here. Now, this guy is going to require a little bit of work to do because there's one attack that makes him unfair. Ta-da! The mushrooms. If you see a red circle appear, you don't have to worry too much about it, but you do have to worry about fighting your way up to him. Which is why I suggested the armor. He does spawn minions, which sucks, but still. Now, be careful of these. Sometimes they can become... Oh, they can become a mimic, or what I call a mimic. In other words, they stand up with legs and they come and attack you. As you can see, Smoldering Warlock. He's a pain. He was a pain for me the first time, but I figured something out. It may not work well because I might still die, and I hate. Woo, this is how I discovered that there is fall damage, because I accidentally fell off there. You see that staff guy? He's just a bigger version. He fires off a flame like that. He's a bigger version of, or smaller version of, the Smoldering. I gotta be careful not to use too much durability, otherwise I may not be able to kill this guy. If you want to cancel your shot, when you, like for example, you're doing this, just right click and you will zoom in and zoom out once you release and depress, and it will cancel the attack. Oops. And if you accidentally let go like that, I don't have to worry about that because I'm protected by the roof. Ah. That is why I'm gonna die, because I did not know there was two of those idiots. But I've learned if you run around him, you can simply avoid that attack like that, and ta-da. The issue is whoa. If you can side shift like that, you're pretty okay. And if you can run, you can do that too. Whee! And if you go around in circles, you're pretty okay. If he gets me, I'm dead though. Whee! Ho 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 ho. That attack I don't mind. I love that attack. It's that attack that's the most deadliest. Okay, now that I don't have to deal with idiot fire guys, I should be okay with dealing with him. You have a time limit and you want to make sure to have a full bow. And you know, the funny thing is I completely forgot I had the potions I could take. And I just talked about them, but I was trying to do it without potions to show you that it is possible to, as you see, one branch, I think once it hits about 20%, that's when it takes a couple. Alright, let's head back over to him. I'll skip out to once I'm there. Alright, enemies will respawn over time, and if you take too long, you'll have to find 5 more mushrooms to sacrifice. They do regenerate health, and as long as I don't come across any fire staff shooter guys, I should be okay with fighting him this time, because physical resistance doesn't bother me too much. It's that burn effect. The burn is way too much for me. Plus I got some more vegetables. Oops. It's that skill that's OP for me. Ooh. I gotta get up and around here. I don't want him to be that close. Take that. That's cheating, and that is why. Oops. And that is why that one attack is my most hard, why he's the hardest boss for me. Because it has insane distance too. Okay. If you run around in circles like that and you get them to attack like that, you can do it without using potions, but I struggle because of that skill. That is the only skill, and I think it's a little unfair. If you can get him to do that, he's not too bad. But that skill is what I love the best. Yeah. Nope. Nope. Okay. You really had to summon a mini. At least. Nope. Come on. No, not you, not another one. Ran out of flipping stamina, I can't see. That skill is too OP. Even for little guys, it has too far of a range. And that's unfair. Whee! Come on. Oh, I ran out of stamina. At least I only had to use one potion. Oop. Thought I could have gotten him, but one death. You can loot all. I got the mask, I got the fabric, I got all that. Now I can get that seeds, fabric, and ta-da! Now we get a rawhide greaves, which gives us more defense. And now we're on to the next boss. Your best bet is to have a bunch of fruits on hand. If you don't have a potions, you want to try minimizing using potions. And if you do have to use them, use it on your toughest boss. And that, for me, is this guy. Because of the narrow space. If it wasn't for the narrow space and the infinite distance on that attack, I could actually deal with him very easily. Gotta be careful because I don't want to get attacked by a stupid mimic. Chances are they won't appear here, but still. Alright. On to the next boss. If I remember correctly, one of them requires you to get... what was it? Solid essence? I don't remember which essence, but there's one... We'll find out once we get there. So... if I can, I'll show you where it's at, although it's pretty easy to find. That dragon there summons cold weather and storms. You'll eventually learn that as the story goes on. Although with the magical barrier, we don't have to worry about that dragon right now. So let's get to the next boss. Let's see what it takes, because I may have to craft up a garden bed. Let's eat. Now the rest of these bosses are actually extremely easy, at least for me. But you never know for the rest of everybody else. I might think they're easy, other people might think they're hard. Just like a lot of people will be like, oh, that first boss that you did was easy for me. It's all about technique and fighting style. For me, that cramped space and the sheer damage he does is insane with that one attack. That one attack is way too OP, in my opinion. Like, no other bosses are as hard as him. These other two bosses are nowhere near as hard as he is. But let's come into here and get everything ready to go and see what we need. Oh, I may have to repair. I'm gonna have to repair this bow. Can I make? This is a bad choice. But this is where you get the next boss, and if this is the boss I think it is, then I'm gonna go back and grow what I need. What do you? Yes, solid essence. This is the boss that we need. So I'm gonna go back to my repair bench. I'm gonna go show you how to grow the solid essence, or how to get the solid essence, and then we'll take on this boss, and then I think we're gonna go a bit long with this episode, which means it might end up being a 40-minute. It depends on how quickly I can deal with that boss. And where the hell is the beginning? We need to go this way. So I'll see you once I'm at my place and showing you the one thing. Alright, we're back. Now we need to craft. We need to get this, which means we need to chop down a tree real quick. Once we get the tree, we'll get the garden bed, and then you'll see the requirements and the items you need. The reason why I'm not making a full-time structure just yet is because once you defeat these 3 bosses, I'm gonna put those on, you'll get into wood you'll be getting into planks. Now once you got this, as you can see, flame essence and solid essence. In order to craft solid essence, you need magic seed and 3 flint. It takes about 45 seconds for that, and it takes, I don't know how long it takes for this, but flame essence here gives you the ability to level up, so if I wanted to, I could actually make some flame essences to level up. I can also consume this, and we're about 40 away. Dang it. Be careful of the certain items that you eat. They can result in getting poisoned, and poison's not very fun. Alright. About 10 more seconds. We're gonna continue to heal while we're at it. Tell you the truth, you can cook these, but you get more health out of eating these raw than you do cook, because cooking has an very long cooldown. Yeah, it regenerates a lot quickly, but oh, there we go. And once you craft certain things, you unlock certain things too. Like now, I can make a stove, which takes 4 solid essence, 5 stone. This will allow you to build combinations, which I think before I fight that first boss, the next time, if I do another playthrough, I know what I'm doing. I'm gonna make a solid essence, I'm gonna make a stove, because you can cook 2 items and get 1 good food, and cook 1 food and get an okay food. When you combine those 2, you get accelerated health and potentially max extra health. So if you want to make this, cook 1 food, cook another, and then fight that boss. But for now that we've got the solid essence, which didn't take too long, we're gonna go back and fight that one boss. And we have a full bow. We've got some decent armor now. So let's go. Alright, we're back. We're ready to fight. We've got the solid essence. We've got the bow. And you know, if I remember correctly, this should be the easiest boss to fight. Like, no joke. Because he shoots like that. All you have to do is take out the little guys real quick and then just sidestep his shots. And then you can just shoot him in the head like that, and then boom. Like I said, he's the easiest to fight. And he doesn't deal a whole lot of damage. And if you wait just before the release like that, You can easily dodge his attacks basically every time. Right now I've got him in the way. Which, yeah, there we go. Oh, perfect timing. Level up during the boss fight. But as you can see, he's actually pretty easily. Even with the attacks, his attacks don't deal nowhere near what that flame guy's does. And even with me not perfectly dodging his attacks like this, he's still... There we go. Ta-da! Easy. Easy as hell. Barely took any life off of me, even with the level up. And I could have done that a lot better, but I was also focused on talking and explaining to you guys. So yeah, mask, whatever, blah blah blah. Although it does help, I do have these on, which gives me defense of 3. And this, which gives me defense of 3. So I admit, I do have a little bit of an advantage, but still. Now you get the stone battle axe, which is like a two-handed attack weapon. Alright, let's put the bow back. And you know what's ironic is the bow, for me, is the most powerful weapon. Now that we've got this boss cleared, we should have one last boss to deal with, and I think it requires me to cook something. I don't know if I have what I don't remember exactly. I'll have to go and check, so once I'm over there I'll see, and then we can fight that boss and call it an episode. It takes roasted meat, which I think I need to cook on a campfire, which, what's it take to make a campfire? Oh, logs. We can make that quickly. And we need to hunt something that gives meat, which most likely means a boar, which means we'll have to find a boar real quick. So let's see. Oh, and you're going to want to collect these because you can unlock crafting stuff and all that fun stuff, and be able to get other items that help out. Oh, well, speaking of the devil, there's a boar. Oop. Fine. Perfect. Now we can chop down a tree, and then we can make a campfire, cook the stuff, blah blah blah. There we go. And then once we do make the roasted meat, we'll be good to go. There we go. Add a log. Open. Meat. Cook. That should give us roasted meat. I don't know though. And it takes a little bit to cook. Some of these, like this one takes 5 seconds. This one will take probably, I don't know, 15-ish seconds. We'll find out. Here we are. Roasted meat. Bleed resistance, health gain. Ta-da! And it takes about 20 seconds. Alright. I don't know if I have the bow for this. That actually did a lot of damage. I might end up using this on the fight if my bow breaks. Alright, let's sacrifice the roasted meat. And here we are. He's actually a pretty easy one too, because you can trick him into coming up and down by angling yourself in positions. You can also have him throw rocks, which you can just simply sidestep, which is 100 times easier to dodge than the one guy. As you can see, that's why I think the flame guy needs to be toned down just a tad bit, because that one attack is just way too OP. Maybe make it less range, maybe, I don't know, deal less damage, last less, so it's still painful, but nowhere near as bad as what it is. If you can... Oops, he finally got me. And as you see, rocks don't really do a whole lot of damage. They're just annoying as hell is all they are. So, he's actually the easiest if you're using range. The range guy is the second easiest, and the mage is the hardest. As you can see, I ended up fighting these guys in order of strongest to weakest. And look at that, he's down. Oh, nice. Got a crotch shot as he fell over. What a view. Actually... Oh, okay. What about any of you over there? Oh, dang it, I don't think it reached that far. And now we can rob him of all his stuff. There we go. We've completed the quests. We'll open up the gate. And next episode, we're going to have another boss fight. Woo! Oh, rawhide boots. That's actually helpful. Now, these take certain items to repair them. I'll have to look into what they take to repair them. There's a lot here I haven't shown you on this map. For example, I haven't shown you all of these things here, or the rune stones, or the side quest, or one of the other little quests up here. That's you have to go through like a long path all the way up into here. I have not shown you what's over here. There's a lot I can show you, but right now I'm just showing you the basics and how to get off this island and get yourself going. Oh, and you definitely want to find all of these, which I might do an episode showing where to find all those and stuff. But first, let's open this up and call it an episode. And you basically just do this: plop, and then plop, and plop, and ta-da! It is open. That's gonna have to be for the next episode. So hopefully you guys enjoy. You come back for more, all that fun stuff. You like, subscribe, and all that crud. Yes, crud. But still, I absolutely appreciate everyone who watches my stuff, even if it's only for 30 seconds. And by the way, if you want to be added on to the in-screen credits like these people, make sure to publicly subscribe and I'll add you on. If you leave before I reach 1,000 though, I'll remove you off because it's for people who gave me a chance. And I have modified my in-screen credits and I have removed people, and as you can see, I am adding people too. So, hopefully you guys decide to join. For now, I'm going to continue working on this and prepping for a couple more episodes. If you want to see other games I do, check out my channel. And if you want to see more of this series, make sure to check out the in-screen credits. For now, I'll have to say bye-bye and see you next time. And I'm going to get ready for the next episode, which will be quite an interesting intro.